Right now, sorry to cut you off, but Corey was having a conversation off air, and we'll pick up into that. But right now, actor, member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, BIG3 basketball founder, there's going to be open tryouts this week in the Metroplex. We present to you Ice Cube. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. How y'all doing, man?
We're good. Now, y'all are having a conversation about the Benjamins, and I apologize for having to jump in so we can introduce the segment.
Yeah, no, listen, Cube, this is one of the things that, like, me and my buddy, my roommate, we watched All About the Benjamins, and we just throw it on all the time. I just thought it was hilarious. Mike Epps is hilarious, and you've done a number of movies with him. Like, is that your favorite person to work with on these kind of movies? Because that's one of my favorite movies you've ever done.
I mean, without a doubt, Mike Epps is my favorite guy to work with. He just, he's genuine. That's really him, in a lot of aspects. I mean, he can be serious, but at the end of the day, he's just a funny guy without a script, without dialogue, just hanging around. Him and John Witherspoon were just those guys who just hanging with him and talking to him about, you could be talking about the game and they making you laugh. So working with him and giving him lines and then having him, do his ad-lib magic to it. It's just, those are feel-good movies, you can kind of watch over and over and over again.
We got the BIG3 open tryouts coming up Friday at Drive Nation Sports in Dallas. Going to circle back to that 1 second, but we were discussing this off air. Are you still a Raiders fan, given the comings and goings of the franchise? And if so, what are your thoughts? Give us your scouting report on Derek Carr.
First of all, I'm the president of the Raider Nation. So when my nation goes, I go. And I'm not one of those, I'm leading the pack. So, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Derek Carr, to me, he's a great quarterback. Okay. He definitely, if you protect him and you give him the weapons, he definitely can hit and make all the throws. So that, to me, he's just been in a weird position, having all these regime changes. Like this is his sixth head coach, I believe. And so this is crazy to ask him to, make it to the Super Bowl under them circumstances. So, here we go again, another coach. So, I'm just praying for stability. With John Gruden, everybody was like 10 years, man, that's crazy. And I'm like, at least he's going to be the damn coach, you know what I'm saying? And then that blows up in the Raiders' face. So, and then his number one receiver, has, the biggest tragedy a rookie can have, killing somebody in a drunk driving, high speed, being a rookie kind of, doing too much event. And so it's just been a tragic season for this guy. And look, he still made it to the playoffs and was close to winning it. His offensive line kind of, they failed him in that playoff game.
Okay, Ice Cube, I'm going to change the topic a little bit to rap and basketball. The other day I'm watching NBA TV and I'm watching Chuck D and Isaiah Thomas have a conversation. And it's kind of about when he was coming up in rap, Isaiah playing in the 80s, and just the artistry, the entertainment, the way that Chuck D felt like basketball in the 80s, guys like Isaiah, Magic, Larry, Dominique, Michael, they had this connection with the fans that he was saying, I don't feel the same connection to the players today. And then Isaiah was talking about the rappers in the 80s. Definitely, he watched them and saw how they connected with the fans in the 80s at concerts and stuff like that. Do you feel like there is, in both topics, lack of connection at times with current rappers and then also lack of connection at times with current players?
First of all, Chuck D, Isaiah Thomas, Chuck D, my favorite rapper of all times, and Isaiah Thomas, one of my favorite basketball players, point guards, definitely of all time. So, I think it's a different focus now. I think the players back then, they was really focused on their game and their team, and and living the rest of their life. Now every player is really focused on their brand. So they're connecting, but they're connecting kind of to sell you more of them in a way. So, where you could get a face-to-face, people used to go up to Chuck and me and all they wanted was just a little FaceTime, ask you a few questions, you know what I mean? Now, they don't even look at you. They just want the picture, Give me the picture and get the hell out of my face. And you be like, damn, you actually, coming into my airspace, you know what I'm saying? Snatching a picture and now you gone without even looking up sometimes. So I just think everybody's focus is just different than it used to be.
We got Doughboy himself, Ice Cube, joining us right now on the K&C Masterpiece on 105.3 The Fan with the Big Three and the NBA. I saw you said you wanted to be complementary to them, not competitive. And I'm kind of curious what you think the difference is and how y'all differ and aren't competitive and how y'all can be complementary to the NBA.
I mean, we're totally complimentary right now. At the end of the day, we play after the finals. We end our season before football starts. So for all those guys with the basketball hangover after the finals, we give you competitive sports in the summer, competitive round ball in the summer. Look, we're 3-on-3. They're 5-on-5. They've been around 75 years. We've been around 5 years. So it's just, to me, how could they view us as competitive? And what it is, it's a clause in their bylaws that other owners can't invest in a competitive sport. And we're just playing to Adam Silver and the governors of the NBA that we're not competitive, we're complementary. So the owners that want to invest in the Big Three should be able and allowed to. And also, our sponsors, some of them feel, not ours, but some of the sponsors that we really are trying to get, if they're involved heavily with the NBA, they tend to look at us and say, hey, you guys aren't working together, so I don't know if I can do this without making the NBA mad. So we're kind of losing on a lot of levels that, to me, it's ridiculous. We have the pro version of 3-on-3. FIBA has the amateur version that they take to the Olympics and stuff like that. And the best of the best want to play in our league. So we think we're very complimentary. And the NBA, they've borrowed a few, we borrowed a lot from them, but they borrowed a few things from us too. We're the first league to allow CBD use, and we're the first league to accept mental illness and try to help our players and not shun them. And, we implemented things that they used in the All-Star game. Like, they went to a set amount of points. We go to 50 every week. We have a game-winning shot every game. So, there's a number of other things, that I'm, can run down the list on, and y'all might say, hey, he's being petty, but when it's yours, you're not. You're like, damn, I see that. That's ours. That's ours. One shot free throws in the D League, the 14-second shot clock after, the offensive team retains the ball after it goes out of bounds. All these are things that we implemented in 2016, and we saw the NBA see that they were good ideas. They're trying to bring in the 4-point shot somehow, some way. We had a 4-point shot, and hey, I think we're a good petri dish for the NBA to try things out on a high profile level. I know they have the D League, they have the WNBA, but our ratings are, we beat out MLS, we beat out NHL, we beat out we're compatible to some Major League Baseball games. So, to me, we're in the game. We should just be friends and cousins, and we don't want to be treated like a stepchild, put it that way.
Now, for all of the people who want to get more involved in y'all's game, Friday, Drive Nation Sports in Dallas, what can you tell us about the open tryouts? Because not only did y'all have open tryouts last year, people got picked up from these open tryouts.
Yeah, bring your game. It's serious. People are trying to get a spot. Devin Sweeney was a guy last year who went to the tryouts. He didn't get drafted, but he ended up getting picked up out of the draft pool during the season and made it to the championship. He was in the Bahamas popping champagne, after, trying out. So there's a path to the league, but you got to have game. Leave it all on the floor. You never know who's watching. And, you get picked and you get a free all expense paid trip. Well, not all your expenses, but the main ones that count to get you there. But, trip to our combine in Vegas, and there you can really show out and make a team. So just be serious. This is not something you just come and play around with. If you think you can make it, could bring your game 22 and up, and you got a shot at it. BIG3.com/tryouts once you get to Vegas, is that probably where more of those expenses wouldn't get covered depending on what you're doing off the court? Yeah, man. If you got to have it, Big3 ain't got nothing to do with that. But as far as getting you to the gym and giving you a true look, you will get that. You will get your chance to impress and make a squad.
I know it's serious because a few years ago I was working a Texas Ranger game, and at the same time up at the studio, Nancy Lieberman was there doing Oklahoma City Thunder, and Cedric Ceballos was there doing Mavericks, and they were having serious conversations leading into, this was playoff basketball in the NBA, because they were getting ready for your league and talking about the competitiveness of it and who they wanted and maybe didn't want on their squad. So I know it is talked about a lot, but Cube, here's my question for you. Kevin Hagelin, who just asked you a question, have you ever seen bigger headphones on a person than what are on his head?
The ones
you've worn a lot of headphones.
They're enormous.
I think back in '73, Cool Herc might have had some about as big as those. But they've shrunk. Technology has gotten better. But look. I understand when you have your favorite, thing to rock. I got my favorite mic. I usually like a certain kind of headphones, that when I do my thing. So I understand, you can fall in love with a certain thing, and unless you have it, it just don't feel right.
Now, last year I was in South Padre, and you did that was your first show, I believe, in South Padre Island. And my son, he was like, Dad, I got to go see this show. We were leaving to come back to Dallas. You're back, though, it looks like, with Snoop at Dos Equis Pavilion in April. And I'm just kind of curious, when you're younger in this and now where you are, what's the difference in touring? What's the difference for you? Are you busier whenever you're doing it? Is it everything a little bit easier for you?
This has always been the funnest part of entertainment for me, with everything that we, I've been doing throughout my career. Getting on that stage, I still feel like I felt when I was, trying to impress the crowds in Compton, trying to impress the crowds, and it's that same feeling. You feel like now before people would get in and then you would just happen to be there and they would check you out. Now people are paying to see you. So I get up for it like I guess anybody would get up for a game or any kind of competition. I'm very serious. I go over all my lyrics before I even hit the stage. So
still,
I've already performed the whole show, an hour or two before I even hit the stage. So You know, it's kind of like Steph Curry with the, you know, dribbling, you know, before everybody get in the building. You just kind of get your juices flowing. So when you get in front of those people, you sharp.
Now, but before we let you go, my buddy, he's a big time DJ, loves talking music and everything, and I wanted to kind of have this conversation real quick. If you get to your chance to make the perfect album, your vision on how much of it is sampled versus how much of it is organic beats and organic music, is there a number for you, or is it just like, no, that's a banger, that's what I'm throwing on there?
I think you just got to let the music call you. If it's music that's highly sampled, so what? You know, with sampling, you have to, you know, kind of pay for those samples with publishing percentages. You know, so, you know, sometimes, you know, the sample can eat up a lot of percentage of the song, but a hit is a hit. You know, a hit will take you all over the world. You'll make a lot more money if you got a hit than if you just, you know, say, nah, I don't want to do that. So I just let the music take me, whether it's organically, whether it's sampled. If I feel like I can do a dope song to it, I'm going to do it.
Man, we appreciate the time very much. The open tryouts Friday at Drive Nation Sports in Dallas. Go to big3.com/tryouts if you want to sign up. And my wife will be super pleased that you didn't hate on my headphones too much. So she bought these for me. I love them. Thank you very much for being kind to them.
Just tell him Cool Herc wanted his headphones back.
Yeah. I'm going to keep making fun of him.
Thank you very much, good sir.
All right, later.
We'll see you later.